Now, the Princess of Wales is doing really well and has been amazing this whole year, said her husband, as he celebrated Earthshot Prize winners.
Yes, Prince William closed the glittering awards ceremony in Cape Town by dubbing the Environmental Award as a movement for change and called on the world to join him.
While anti-monarchy protesters were also out in full force.
They lied to you! They
Good grief.
I thought that shouting at people to go home was considered beyond the pale and racist, but apparently not.
No, it depends who's saying it, doesn't it? And to whom?
Well, let's cross live to our GB News royal correspondent Cameron Walker in Cape Town. I hope, Cameron, that small protest hasn't overshadowed affairs.
Well, hopefully not, Tom. I think Kensington Palace is certainly hoping that it isn't. It was the most extraordinary scenes. We weren't really expecting a protest, but this kind of sporadic crowd had started to gather. I think word had spread that Prince William was on his way. He was there for a sustainable fishing engagement. But then we had this absolutely extraordinary situation where, as you saw in that clip there, this lady was really angrily shouting at Prince William, telling him to go home. She and her fellow protesters had an issue with the historic links the British monarchy has to South Africa, and therefore, in their view, Prince William not welcome in the country. But there were so many other people welcoming Prince William to South Africa, and those well-wishers started clashing with the protesters. So it really was the most extraordinary scenes. And I believe we can show you a clip of 3 people dressed in some Union flags and some interesting masks.
Love them. We love all the royals. We love the Queen. We love Princess Di. We love the boys. We've known and loved them since they were born. So we're thrilled that William is here. We're delighted.
And what about you?
Just amazing to be here and seeing him. Yeah.
And did you get to meet him when he was doing his walkabout earlier? You did?
Shake this hand. They shook this hand.
Okay.
And mine. And yours, yeah. So we were thrilled. We happened to be in the right place exactly where he got off the boat.
Yeah, Prince William also was very much enjoying a braai lunch, which is a celebration of South African cuisine and culture. This is why all the protesters were going on. But Prince William did manage to walk about, meeting, as you heard there, lots of members of the public who had turned out to greet him, welcoming to South Africa. He was given handmade bracelets by somebody in the crowd. So there was a kind of welcoming atmosphere, despite the very small but loud and noisy protester. He was also joined at the lunch by global superstar Billy Porter and Winnie Harlow. They are 2 Earthshot advocates, because last night Prince William was there for his Earthshot Prize award ceremony, finding solutions to repair the planet over the next decade. 5 more finalists, each have won £1 million last night, so they're going to solutions. But Prince William is his final day here in South Africa, and this weekend he's off to Remembrance Sunday commemorations, and we'll have to wait and see if the Princess of Wales joins him.
Oh, well, fingers crossed that she does, and let's hope she's doing better and better. Cameron Walker, live from Cape Town. Thanks so much for joining us. I have to say, this protester needs to read her history.
Read a book.
It was literally the royal family, in terms of the Queen, who helped convene all the Commonwealth countries to issue a really important communique in 1986 that advocated sanctions against apartheid South Africa. I mean, it was the Commonwealth, organised through the Crown, that helped end apartheid in South Africa.
OK, so, Tom, how would you say that to this lady in 5 seconds?
I don't think you can reason with a shouting lady.
No? You wouldn't even try? You would try.
Oh, I might try.
You absolutely would try.
Well, I mean...
May I educate you? He'd probably tell you to do one.
It is just a fact that, had it not been for the Commonwealth and their summits in the 1980s, apartheid might have lasted longer in South Africa.
Yeah. Well, this is Good Afternoon Britain.
Now, as the new year is set to welcome a new president, the row over Prince Harry's US visa will be brought back into focus.
Earlier this year, our very own Nigel Farage asked Donald Trump about it.
No one knows the truth. What did he put on his American visa form?
If they know something about the drugs, and if he lied, you'll have to take appropriate action.
Well, the fractured relationship between the president-elect and the couple began in 2020 when the Sussexes urged American voters to stay clear of Trump. Do you remember? They urged them to reject hate speech, misinformation and online negativity. Ugh, give me strength.
And also, Prince Harry, keep out of it. Politics is not what royals do.
It's what his wife wants to do, though, isn't it? Let's get the thoughts now of editor-at-large at the Daily Mail, Charlotte Griffiths. Good morning, Charlotte. This is morning. So this is one of those angles, really. There's going to be so many different sort of tentacles which go from Donald Trump winning and where this leads for the royal family. Where's it going to lead for Harry?
Well, put it this way, Harry's just bought a house in Portugal and it might come in pretty handy in the next few months because Donald Trump has said in the past that he wouldn't protect Harry, that he would be on his own, and that if it was down to me, this is Donald Trump, if it was down to me, he wouldn't have any protection. And the Heritage Foundation tried to expose his form, and in the end he was protected, and a judge ruled that the form would never be revealed. I just wonder whether now Trump is in power, I'm not saying it's top of his priority list, but eventually that form might be exposed.
And just so to remind viewers and listeners, Charlotte, in his book Spare, in which he, of course, dumped tons of abuse on his own family, Harry admitted to taking illegal drugs such as cocaine. And the point is, when he filled in his visa form for the United States, did he tell the truth about that illegal drug taking? Because if he had said he'd been taking cocaine, almost certainly he would never have got his visa.
Yes, and there have been, I better not name her, but there's been a certain supermodel who has been exposed for taking cocaine. She couldn't go into America for 10 years. It doesn't matter how famous you are, you can't take drugs and go into America. They're very strict on this. So if Harry didn't tick that box, and then he wrote in Spare that he's taken magic mushrooms, marijuana and cocaine, it wasn't a very clever move.
Oh, the implications, though, of Donald Trump saying that Harry can't live in America, like the political ramifications of that. I can't see Starmer handling that very well.
No, and well, he just might say he wants people in America who've told the truth about drug taking, and he's got zero tolerance on illegal drug taking, Trump.
Yeah, and Trump himself is teetotal. I will say, though, in the lead up to in the campaign, Eric Trump said, to be honest, he's no fan of Harry's. His dad is no fan of Prince Harry's. But Eric said, Harry's also sort of beneath our notice. Who can really be bothered to chuck him out? So it might be that, of course, with a lot of things on Trump's plate to deal with as president, that chucking Harry out might not be top of the agenda. But also Meghan will be really upset to live in America with Trump as the president. She really, really viscerally dislikes him for many different reasons, and has said that he's a misogynist live on television before. So she might want to leave America.
And remind us why they chose Portugal, Charlotte.
Well, there's lots of different reasons. One is, I can't say this for certain, but there are very helpful tax rules in Portugal. And the other thing is that Princess Eugenie's husband helps run a resort out there, sort of villa resort. So we think he might have made an introduction to
They got
Harry.
a discount.
Yes.
Blimmin' cheapskates. Blimmin' cheapskates.
I'm trying to be careful with my words, but yes.
We won't be, though, Charlotte. I wonder also, Charlotte, seriously, whether the reason Meghan said nothing during the run-up to the presidential election was because they've got this in the background that Trump could possibly turn against them if she put the boot in, like so many of her friends, such as Oprah Winfrey, who came out campaigning for Kamala Harris.
I imagine that Meghan was itching to come out for Kamala Harris. She's just the kind of candidate that Meghan would approve of. But I think she was very wise not to, because you never know what Donald Trump might say. If she stoked that fire, Donald Trump might have come out all guns blazing. It would have been really embarrassing for Meghan. And you might have got more comments like Eric saying, actually, the Sussexes are irrelevant and nobody in America cares about them, which is, of course, the worst possible outcome for Meghan Markle.
And can we just ask you, just briefly while you're here, Charlotte, Queen Camilla, do we have any idea how she is? She's off poorly at the moment.
Yeah, they say she's only off for a few days with a chest infection and she should be back right as rain. I don't think it's anything major. That's not what I'm hearing.
OK.
And any chance you think we might see Harry at Christmas? They'll all be making their plans now.
I do think Harry is going to come over to the UK more and more. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he came over at Christmas, but he will be coming on his own, I think. There's no way Meghan will come over. It might be that they spend Christmas in Portugal and he nips over to see the family. I don't think he's usually invited to Balmoral. They don't feel they can relax when he's at Balmoral with them. So I don't think he'll pop up there.
All right. That's Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large at the Daily Mail. Thanks for joining us. They won't have him at Balmoral because they don't trust him.
Somebody's just got in touch. Sharon has said Trump, remember, was a huge supporter of the Queen and he didn't like how Harry dished the dirt during the Queen's last month.